Tonight, we have a special guest. That'd be me. Anyways, I hope tonight you're able to learn some stuff that I've seen with our with light technology and PBM and what it can all do. So tonight, I'll also be going through a PowerPoint of very interesting examples of healing. So also, we have a winner for the month of May. Last week we gave the month before for April, but today the May winner is Charlotte and Boswell, and you're from New York. Well, congratulations, Charlotte. So Charlotte is a winner of the Palm Ultimate because she tuned in a couple times, or I'm not sure how many times. But every month, every time you watch us to the end, or pretty much to the end, you get a ballot put in for the Palm Ultimate. And the Palm Ultimate is a $1,300 device, this one here. And it has the red wavelength. And you can see the light going right through my hand there. And there's the near infrared, which you can't see at all, but you can see it a little purplish. But that's got a lot more penetration. So if I have done this demonstration before, but you put a power meter on the other side and you can see how much more power is going through the other side. So with that being said, we are going to very shortly start off with video, but right at this moment, this is the red wavelength. This is the bright red wavelength, and this is the near infrared. So somebody will win this device at the end of this month for June. Okay, well, with that, we're going to go to our short little video.
Hey everyone, and welcome. So today, we're going to dive into some really fascinating technology. It's all about tackling those stubborn aches and pains using something you'd probably never expect. Targeted, powerful light. Let's get right into it. You know the one I'm talking about, right? That ache deep in a joint or a muscle that just lingers. No matter what you try, it's still there. It's that kind of hard-to-reach pain that can drive you crazy. So the big question is, how do you actually get to it? I know, it sounds a little bit like something out of a sci-fi movie, but this brings us to the main question here. Can light really help your body heal? Well, the science behind it is actually surprisingly solid. Okay, so there's a big science-y word for this. Photobiomodulation. It's a mouthful, I know, but the idea behind it is actually super simple. It's a clinically proven method where you use very specific types or wavelengths of light to basically give your cells a little boost. This helps kickstart your body's natural healing process to reduce things like pain and inflammation. It's like a helping hand made of light. Okay, so we know the science is solid, but how do you actually use it? How do you make it work for you effectively? And that's where this specific technology, SunPowerLED, enters the picture. Because it's not just about any light, it's about delivering it with some serious power and precision. So the whole thing is the brainchild of an inventor named Tom Kerber. And here's the key innovation he came up with: a special cooling system. Now, why on earth does a cooling system matter for a light? Well, think about it. If you can keep those LEDs from overheating, you can crank up the power way up. And more power means that light can actually sink deeper into your tissues to get right to the source of the problem. And this leads to another really key difference you can see here. A lot of other devices out there can create what they call hot spots, basically uneven patches of light. But SunPowerLED was engineered to give you this consistent, smooth, even wall of light. That means the whole area you're treating gets the exact same dose. And that consistency, it's absolutely crucial for getting real results. Now this kind of tech doesn't just pop up out of nowhere, right? It's been tweaked and improved over time, and you can really see that story unfold when you look at how the products have evolved. It all started with the Palm Classic. That one used a 660 nanometer red light, which was awesome for things like skin and circulation. Then they kicked it up a notch with the Palm Professional, which added an 810 nanometer wavelength to get deeper into joints. After that, they launched the Palm Ultimate. It used the same wavelengths but boosted the power by a whole 25%. So each new version was designed to go deeper and work faster. And all of that research, all that evolution, has led to this, the newest and most advanced model in the lineup, the Super Palm 1050. So what's the big deal here? It's all about a brand new wavelength, 1050 nanometers. This isn't just a random number. It's based on clinical research that shows this specific near-infrared light can get deeper than ever before. We're talking about reaching tissues that other wavelengths just can't touch. So what does that really mean for you? It means this device is built for the really tough spots. Think about big joints like your hip or those deep muscles in your back. You know, the stubborn aches that just don't seem to respond to anything else? And since it's so much more powerful, treatment times are generally faster too. And you know what's really cool? For all this advanced tech, using it couldn't be simpler. It literally has two settings. Setting 1 is that visible red light, the 660 nanometer one, which is perfect for prepping the area and getting blood flowing. Setting 2 switches on the 1050 nanometer near infrared light. And here's the wild part. The most powerful light, the one that goes the deepest, it's completely invisible to the naked eye. So for all you tech specs folks out there, let's peek under the hood for a sec. We're talking about an average of 7.5 watts of power for the red light and 6.5 watts for the near infrared. That is a ton of energy. And it's all focused on a 40 square centimeter area, which is roughly a 3-inch circle. Pretty good coverage. Okay, so whenever you talk about this much power, two big questions always come up, right? First, is it safe? And second, does it actually work? Let's talk about the proof behind the power. First off, let's talk about why they chose LEDs instead of lasers. This wasn't an accident. It was a very specific choice. LEDs are generally way safer for you to use at home, and you don't need a doctor looking over your shoulder. Plus, they do a better job of covering a large area evenly compared to a pinpoint laser beam. And they really went all in on the safety features, which should give you some serious peace of mind. These devices are FDA registered as a Class 2 device. You're not getting any of that harmful UV radiation, there's no EMF radiation to worry about, and they even built in temperature monitoring to make sure things never get too hot. It's all about making sure it's safe for you to use at home. But, okay, certifications are one thing. What are actual people saying about it? Here's one from Bruce H., who says it has, quote, awesome healing properties with no side effects. He even says he's recommended it for several chronic conditions. That speaks volume. Now, this next one. This one is really something else. It's from a user named Paul H. He said his son had a severe concussion, and that, quote, in 3 treatments with the helmet, his vision was restored and his brain fog was cleared. Just, wow. That's a pretty incredible story. And you know, it's not always just about the gadget itself. Sometimes it's about the company behind it. This last quote from Russ C. really speaks to that. He says he called to ask questions and ended up speaking directly with the inventor, Tom Kerber, who took time to answer everything. That kind of personal touch really builds a lot of trust. So when you put it all together, the science, the way the technology has evolved, and these real-world stories, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? For all those aches and pains that are buried deep down, could the key to relief be unlocking your body's own amazing potential with just a little bit of targeted light?
All right. I know some of you may have seen that video before, but now I thought it'd be great to put it out there so that, well, some would help to increase their learning on that side of things. But now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to a presentation that I have. But just before I do, I just want to ask if you're in a country outside of the USA, I would love to hear, put it in the text where you're from. I'd love to see that. Also, I wanted to say that um, we will be, as I go through this slideshow, some may have seen this slideshow before, but if you haven't seen this slideshow before, regardless, please put in your questions now while I'm doing them, and I'll try and answer them directly immediately, okay, as they come in. So we're going to start with this presentation then. So here we go. So a photobiomodulation, or is a short form is PBM. So photo being light, bio being biology, and modulating meaning you're making a change on the biology using light. So as far as when we talk about neurological disorders, neurodegenerative diseases involve progressive dysfunction and loss of neurons in the central nervous system and thus present a significant challenge due to the absence of effective therapies for halting or reversing their progression. And this particular research was done, and they saw that there's a positive impact on PBM of using PBM on neurodegenerative disorders, including AD, PD, and different types of epilepsy. And you'll see in the coming slides some of the things we've seen as far as light. So here we go. Next slide, please. So we're using red and near infrared light energy on the surface of the skull, and that's getting into the brain. And what we're able to do is we're able to reduce the inflammation and reduces oxidative stress as well on a whole host of different mechanisms. And they're still learning all about it. So here we go. We got, sorry, can you go back for a sec? We've been able to personally witness these improvements: strokes, concussions, Parkinson's, dementia, brain fog, insomnia, seen an impact on seizures, tinnitus, or tinnitus. Different people pronounce it different ways. Eye issues, smell and taste. All can be impacted that we've seen with just even the use of the helmet on the skull. We haven't seen yet with Alzheimer's and Huntington's disease, just that they haven't come to us. But we do have an Alzheimer's study that's starting in Dallas, Texas, and that's going to be great to see. We also have another study starting with migraines in Pittsburgh. So our helmet is the most powerful helmet, PBM helmet on the market. And I can say that because I have now 50 years of electronic development on my side. I know electronics extremely well. And I know what's out there as far as different products. And I can tell you that we do have the most powerful helmet on the planet right now. So we have 25,000 milliwatts of optical power, and that can be adjusted if it needs to be. Just to give you an idea, it's we're delivering into the brain, then through the skull. On the surface, we're delivering 25 joules every second. That's a lot of optical power. And basically, we have 50 milliwatts per square centimeter over the entire skull. Now, that's lower power than using a palm unit, because you're looking at 100 to 150 milliwatts, depending on the model, on the area. But because it's 10 of these units, you have a very strong coverage of light over the whole skull, and that's going to work its way into the brain. We do have the wavelengths of 660, 810 on it, on the regular helmet, and then the special order is the super helmet, which is the 660 and 1050 nanometer wavelengths. So here's our helmet, and you're seeing it right now. So we have a stand that comes with it, and just because this is a little different mount, this is the way it goes on. And right now we have the red wavelength of 660, and the other wavelength is 810. It's just maybe the camera sees it as just a little bit glowing, but that's the wavelength of that. We have a stand with that, and yeah, we do have options. If people want to have pulsing, we can generate pulsing anywhere from 1 hertz to 1 kilohertz. It's very, very easy to adjust. Generally, a person uses 10 hertz or 40 hertz for special applications. But that's again, that's a typo, by the way. It shouldn't say 40 kilohertz, it should say 40 hertz. And we also have a timer for those that are interested in that. So I'll be going through different things today. I'll be talking about the different products that we have in various applications and how we can speed up healing. We'll be talking about LED light source comparisons, beam spread, and those kinds of things. LEDs versus laser, and talking about safety there, wavelength comparisons, and our penetration study comparing LEDs versus lasers. So, and then we'll be further talking about different things with products, and then also mention about methylene blue. So, okay, here we go. Question comes from Dale. Any indication that PBM restores blood supply to post-stroke patients? And the answer is it must, because also it's really neat how the brain is able to cause new vessels. So it's always possible to those things to happen for healing to occur. There's also like the whole thing about brain, the neuroplasticity of brain where it's moving in different, like you can, your connections change around and things start working again. Okay, so I see Donna mentioned some doctors you have interviewed said they only feel comfortable using the 810 as that is the one that has been most studied. You are exactly right, Donna. Yeah, and I just had another doctor on that just absolutely loves the 1050. So, um, it's one of those things. If you want further to talk to us further, please email us or text us. Email us at info@SunPowerLED, and we'll try and answer it that way, or we can always try and call you as well. So, okay, Larry is saying, I'm a physician providing stem cell therapy for 12 years. I am planning on using PBM to augment these. What are your thoughts of pre, post, or directly to harvested cells? Definitely, I don't know. I can't say about directly to the harvested cells, but I can tell you that there's a lot of knowledge coming out that if you do treatment prior to whatever you're doing, so even in the case of a workout or for Olympics and that, if you do a treatment before or even surgery, you're going to have a better situation. Um, okay, so different products we have. We have the transcranial helmet, we have the palm device, we have the mini canopy, which does a larger area. It's like a foot square. And then we have the full canopy, which is like 6 of the mini canopies. And then on the bottom, you'll see we have the Super Palm, we have the Palm Ultimate, and the Palm Professional. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so here we have an example of somebody that young man was 19 years old who had a pickaxe and he ended up swinging it and it went through the dirt much easier than he figured and cut right through his tendon above his ankle. In that case, they had said they sewed it together and it did fall apart 2 days later, so they had to do a second surgery. And by doing that, doing a second surgery, that is a lot of trauma to the area. So they had suggested that it could be anywhere from 6 to 9 months before 6 to 9 months before you'd be walking again. 2 weeks post-treatment, you can see that in this case there would have been a lot of swelling, and very, very quickly the swelling came down and the healing was taking place pretty quickly. And by 3 weeks, there was already the stitches were removed and there was already movement going on. So here's 3 weeks post-surgery, and we'll show you the video of him walking. and that's at 1 month. Now his gates, you can tell his gates affected. You can play that one more time. But that's pretty good for instead of waiting 6 to 9 months. So, do you know of anyone who's used PBM with tattoo removal treatments? No, I don't. I can't. I have no knowledge of that. John is asking, do you know how approximately how many hours each LED will last? Well, as a matter of fact, normally LEDs are rated for, if it's a good LED, they're rated for 50,000 hours where they will drop about 10% in light output after 50,000 hours. Not just, 2,000 hours a year would be like a full work period every day. Um, and that'd be 25 years. Now, nobody's stuck around that long to figure that out, but what they do is they elevate the temperature of the LEDs, and the higher the temperature, the shorter the life of the LEDs. So you're really putting a lot of stress on the LEDs, and that's how they come up with these very, very long numbers of 50,000 hours. So anyways, it turns out that these LEDs are rated for like 80 degrees Celsius. And when we have them on our boards, because of the design, the patent pending cooling that I have, the LEDs are running far cooler. So even 45 degrees C. And with that kind of temperature, 45, 50 degrees C, it's much cooler than they're designed for. And so that means that they'll have a very good long life. That's what we expect. Now, we do give a 2-year warranty as well on our devices. The higher end devices, whether it be the mini canopy, the helmets, or the Super Palm. The others have 1 year, but it's our expectation that it'd be much longer. Next slide, please. So here's an example of a diabetic foot ulcer. They were going to amputate. This is a person's foot with the toes pointing towards the top. And I've talked to many doctors, and when they look at this, their immediate cringe is, we got to amputate that foot. Well, the super palm was put on this foot every day for about 20 minutes, and it was basically undercover at the hospital, literally undercover. And within 1 week, the amputation was canceled. 2 months later, the you can see what it looks like. So they never did the amputation, and I don't have. I wished I would have had a picture of the third one, which was fully healed at the 4-month mark. So Joan is asking, there is some research using PBM therapy in spinal cord injury. Any experience with this condition? As a matter of fact, yes, we're wanting to start a study. Obviously, anytime we try and do a study, you need a lot of money behind you to do it. But we have a specialist out of Israel that was able to regrow spinal cords when they're totally severed and regrow them together, but they require light therapy to help join the nerve fibers. If they don't use the red light therapy, then what happens is a lot of scar tissue forms and the nerve connection's not there. You get like a 20% nerve function. Whereas if you use light at the same time while it's healing, and they have a scaffolding material that the nerve can grow on, it joins and they get an 80% nerve function, which is absolutely excellent. So we would love to launch that study working with this doctor, but well, it's one of those things we need a lot of funds to be able to run that particular study. But he's absolutely convinced that our device that we've made, whether it be the Palm device or another specialized device we made um, for this, which fits beautifully for this application, um, could very well help people regrow their spinal cords. Okay, next slide, please. So here's just gives you an idea you meant about strokes, like for pain and inflammation. One of the problems with strokes as well is the amount of pain that they undergo. So this young woman, she had the she had her a palm of her hand up near her neck, and she couldn't straighten out her fingers. And she did the light therapy. So we're gonna play this video. Hi, Yolanda.
Hi,
So, you had a stroke
I did 2 months ago.
2 months ago,
Mhm.
and what's happened since then?
I had this stroke, and the right side of my face had pins and needles all the time, and I lost function in the left side of my body. Um, so I can stand and barely walk.
Mm-hmm.
My arm, I can feel touch, but I don't have any control over the movements. So that's where I am today.
Right. And coming in here today, we did a treatment with the helmet to see
Yes,
how that would work, and
yes.
just a nice warmth feeling.
It is a nice warm feeling.
Right. And then you did a light therapy treatment under the canopy, and
Yes. So
you.
before my husband had to position me because I can't move, and the left side is in a lot of pain. My arm, I can barely move it most times without a massage first and therapeutic oils and painkillers. So I started the treatment off. I was going to put me like this, lying on my stomach, because it's very painful in the shoulder and the arm, and then my lower back as well. We did, how long was it? 10 minutes. 10 minutes, and then he was changing to the other light treatment, and at that point, I was able to have my husband move my arm straight down. So he got it to go straight down without any pain and no pain in the shoulder. And then I did the other light treatment.
Mm-hmm.
For how long? 10 minutes. Another 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Another 10 minutes. So it just came out. I have no pain in my shoulder, my elbow, my fingers, which are always in pain. I do not feel any pain. I can move them. They are tight.
Right.
And then my lower back, all the way across there, which makes it very difficult to sit and walk. I feel great. I have no pain, and I did not take any medication this morning. No pain meds or no pain oils or anything else like that. So I feel much better for one treatment.
Well, that's
I'm not sure
fantastic.
how long it's going to last,
Well,
but right now at this moment, I do feel better.
well, thank you very much for sharing with us.
Of course.
Okay, here's an example of when it comes to burns. This is my granddaughter. When she was 3 years old, she had the light therapy 2 times a day with the mini canopy to treat such a large area. As soon as it happened, I raced over there to bring over the light. So one neat thing is if you probably had the experience of getting a sunburn, and then later in the day you try and go out in the sun again and it really burns. That's the ultraviolet that really makes that feeling happen. But when it comes to using PBM, which is the red and near infrared spectrum, there's no pain with it. As a matter of fact, it actually gets rid of the pain. So the pain is immediately gone when, like, within a few minutes of using the light on burns. And it's pretty amazing. So you see day 0, day 1. This was second and third degree burns. So what happened is there was boiling. My son-in-law was helping my granddaughter, as she would do other times before this. Just he poured in the boiling water and she put in the stuff and mixed the jello. Only this time she decided to pull the bowl towards herself, and the bowl flipped and poured the boiling water down her leg. So there was second and third degree burns. Day 1, you can see. Day 2, there's it's starting to scab up, the covering. Day 6, it's all scabbed up, and by day 8, all of the scabbing has fallen off. So the great thing about treating burns is that you can reduce the chance of infection because obviously the skin is destroyed, and it's very easy to get an infection with burns. But in this case, what happens is that the light treatment, photobiomodulation, actually speeds up the healing and causes a cross-linking to occur so that contaminants can't get in below the skin. So what was also neat was at 1 month, there was just a discoloration over the area. And at 2 years, there was no evidence whatsoever that anything had happened. I had to try it for myself too. So I wanted to see what would happen. So I found a sidewalk slab that I could fall over and bounce my head off the sidewalk. And I actually lost my front tooth in the process. So you can see really hard face plant with not being able to stop myself because of the way I kind of swung into it. But day 4, you can see that all the swelling has come down and there was no bruising. Now, I should have black and blue face after this, but that's how fast it helps the blood flow to clear the toxins and stuff that's from the hit, from the damage. Here's an example of comparing a laser to an LED. And as you can see on the right-hand side, the laser has a spot source. I mean, you can shine it across the room and it's still a spot. That can be quite dangerous because it's a spot of light that could hit the back of the retina. So it's a higher power in a little tiny area. Where you see on the left-hand side, it's spread out over the large area. What also you can see here is that what I did is I took a power meter and I adjusted the light output on my LED. I turned it way, way down. So it actually was 3 milliwatts of power. And you can see on the left-hand side, 3 milliwatts coming from an LED and three on the right-hand side, 3 milliwatts coming from a laser. And there really is no difference. And the reason being is that the light, once it hits the surface and starts going into the tissue, it scatters in all directions. So there's no further benefit to depth. It's not like the James Bond movies, that way, that, or people think of, I'll just point the laser right at the spot and that's going to get right down in there. No, it doesn't work that way because the light diffuses. It comes up with the fact that as much power as you have on the surface is really what's going to help going in deeper. So we have power over area, and that's another thing. So let's go to the next slide, please. So there's no hot spots on the back of your eye or anywhere that could cause damage, whereas LEDs are very, very even illumination. And so that's why there's a very high safety when it comes to LEDs. Next slide, please. That's also, sorry, just back to that other slide. That's also another reason why you really don't have to use glasses. You can use them if you want to. They're available. You can always ask us for that. But as far as we can give you a link to purchase them. But as far as needing to use them while you're treating, if you have laser, you absolutely must use laser, like the type of glasses that block laser light. Okay, so Dwayne was asking, since the helmet definitely helps strokes patients, I wonder if you know how possible blood clot residue is affected. So I do know that some people that are experiencing blood clots have been able to see um, improvement, less pain in the area when they start treating. So it's helping to very slowly get rid of that clotting that's happening. That must be what's going on, reducing the inflammation, getting the blood to move again. Would it help with chronic ear inflammation? Absolutely. We've been able to see people being helped. So that would be a case of putting the light over the area, over the ear like that, and treating that whole area. But uh, you don't have to know perfectly where, because what's going to happen is that light, when it goes over that whole area, is going to spread out pretty quickly and cover the whole below that, the whole area. Like you're not going to miss anything. Here's an example of the difference between wavelengths and something that you could see visually. You see that the 660 nanometer is going through my cheek, but when it comes to 810, it's not only going through my cheek, but you can see it going, the light is passing through the gum line as well, or the light energy. Okay, here's an example of a concussion that we'd like to play. And you'll see things about the memory loss, inability to read, headaches, and you have to stay in a dark room. So go ahead. Hi, Rose.
Hi.
Tyson.
Hello.
So, Tyson, what happened?
Well, I went to like a cadet group, so it's like kind of like you learn skills and stuff. And I fell and hit my head. I got a really bad concussion, so I couldn't really do anything. I couldn't read. If I stood up for too long, I'd get a really bad headache. And we were trying different things like oils and stuff like that. And then my mom's friend recommended this, the red light therapy.
Yeah.
And so we went over here and we tried it, and straight away I felt results after it was done. My headache cleared up like quite a bit. And that day I was able to pick up a book and read, when before I couldn't even read a sentence. I'd get a really bad
when
headache.
did this happen?
Happened I think last week Friday.
Okay,
No,
last week.
he does. It was Thursday that
Thursday, last
so it was a
week,
week
Thursday.
ago.
A week
So
ago Thursday.
Yeah,
And
he had like severe memory loss. He still doesn't remember
Yeah.
that day at all.
Right?
So I don't know if he'll gain that memory back. But we took him to Mac, and they did a CT scan and that, because he was continuously asking the same questions, like, what happened? Why does my head hurt? And like it was on a reel, like probably every couple of minutes we tell him what happened. He's like, oh, that would be why my head hurts. I don't remember going to cadets.
Yeah.
And then he would ask it all over again, like, how come my head hurts? So like he probably did it hundreds of times. So they did a CT scan and they didn't see anything on the
That's
CT
at
scan.
McMaster University.
Yeah, at McMaster.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he's got to follow up with a neurologist in a few weeks because it was that bad. But
Right.
he's
Did you have any double vision?
No, not that I remember of that day.
But you couldn't read a book and
No.
you couldn't watch a video or
No, he had to be in a
I
dark
could,
room.
I had to really lie down. If I stood up and tried to move around, I'd get a bad headache. I tried reading a book. I got, I think, a sentence, and then I got a split and a headache again. So
Okay.
Because he really likes reading, so he was hoping to, because he was bored. He gets bored because he's lying around in a dark room listening to audiobooks. But yeah, the minute he started reading it, just
Okay. And so you did a light treatment under the helmet,
yeah,
and that was 1 minute of the bright red and 3 minutes.
of like the one you can't see.
Right, that's the near infrared.
Yeah,
yeah.
and it was amazing. Like after the 4 minutes, I could tell straight away my headache was gone. I just overall felt better.
Yeah, so you were still tired and stuff. You
Yeah.
didn't read yesterday yet, did you?
No, I didn't read yesterday.
Or you didn't read on the day you got the red light
Yeah.
therapy. Yesterday you started reading.
Yeah, I tried it, and I'm like, hey, I can easily read. I don't get a headache at all.
Well, we could tell a difference because he was really subdued. Like he's been really, like just hanging out in his room, really quiet and not.
Right.
And now he's like, whoop! So I'm like,
Oh, that is excellent.
He's definitely back in that sense.
And we're going to do just one more final treatment
We're
here,
gonna do another
probably,
one, yeah, because
and just to make sure that things are covered. But
yeah.
well, thank you very much for being on our video,
Yeah.
Tyson, and really neat how we were able to see this. This is going to tell a lot of people what light therapy can do.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
very grateful. Yeah, we were very, very blessed and pleased that we found this.
Yeah.
So, there's another question that came in as far as do you need to wait after an injury to use PBM? And there was some training that to use ice for 48 hours after the injury. Actually, ice, there's new information coming out that the ice actually slows down the process. And as far as the healing process, and the light can help photobiomodulation can actually help speed up the healing. So, uh, uh, like myself and many others have seen where it really use it right away with an injury, acute or or things that have been around for a long time. So yeah. Um, so yeah, Baj, you can use it directly on the ear, no problem. If you find it a little warm on the red wavelength, you can always pull back the light a little bit. Okay, so Andrew, how frequently should a person use the palm light daily, weekly to help with an abscess in the gums? And what might the timeline till noticing healing? That really depends. Everybody's quite different, but I do know of some examples of people that have used it when they've been suggested to use it or have a root canal, and they found that they could use it, and very quickly the pain goes away. And you just have to see if it totally goes away and you don't have any problems, great. If you do need to get the root canal, well, then even if you get the root canal, again, you can use it right away for the inflammation period so that you can speed up the healing. So I would use Deborah, I'd use uh, the palm light every day, several times a day if you need to. There's no problem in doing multiple treatments per day. If you send that question, this question is to Yvonne. If you want to send that question into us about the icing, I'll see if we can't find something on the web on that. I just know of some practitioners that who are in the field of injury, sports injury, that have actually started changing their minds on this and seeing great results. I had somebody with a severe sprain and just happened, and we used the mini canopy on his foot, and he couldn't put absolutely any weight on it on his foot. He had crutches, and everything was black and blue. And after the 20-minute treatment, he showed me where he could put his foot down and actually touch the floor without going through the roof in pain. And the next day, he showed me where he was actually able to, he had the crutches, but he was actually able to do some weight bearing. And then on after the treatment, he actually said, "Wow!" And he picked up both crutches and put all his weight of his body on the foot that had just had the severe sprain. So there was no ice used in that situation at all. So with the eyes, we've been able to see beautiful things with different problems like um, uh, Joseph is asking, we've been able to see improvement in vision. Um, and when it comes to dry and wet macular degeneration, um, beautiful things that we've been able to see in other eye issues as well. Jankita is asking, does this work for inflammation of the cellulite and lipidemia? I'm sorry, I can't answer that, but I know just standard um, lymphatic problems. If that's a connection, I'm not sure if it's an exact connection, but with any type of lymphatic, so where there's a lot of swelling, we've been able to see that reduce very quickly. Very, very important to follow the lymphatic system and to see where you have to treat along the lymphatic system. It's almost like a river going downstream. You don't open up the upstream first. You open up where it's leaving the body, and there's different places on the body. We do have in our research tab locations to see the lymphatic system. Here's an example of Parkinson's. I want to play this one.
Oh, you had Parkinson's probably
8 or 9 years.
8 or 9 years.
Okay.
And we were introduced to red light therapy through Gateway Physiotherapy, and Terry had some limited improvements with it over the last couple of years. A little, his arm swing when he walked improved a little increase in taste and smell, but limited.
Okay.
So when his physiotherapist suggested we try your helmet, which is much more powerful, we said, of course we would. So we've had tremendous results from it.
Yeah, that is neat. So when did you start with treatments for Terry?
That was mid-December, Terry?
Early December.
Yeah, about mid.
Uh-huh. And what was one of the first, so you put the helmet on, you did 1 minute of the red and then 3 minutes of the near infrared. That's our kind of standard protocol. And did he notice anything in the first or second treatment? What?
One of the things that I noticed immediately was sense of taste. And for somebody who's had no taste for 4 or 5 years, I was eating second helpings at the table. And I realized that it was the taste that was missing, but I also ran into an increase in smell.
Okay. So is your wife a good cook? Maybe I shouldn't ask that. There could be trouble.
Yeah,
Well,
she's a good cook.
he's put on about 5 pounds since he started the helmet because he's eating more now, which
Yeah.
is good because with Parkinson's, because you lose your sense of taste, a lot of people lose weight.
Mm.
So that was a big improvement. And what was
Okay.
the other?
The increase in smell.
Yeah.
Again, I couldn't smell anything. Our office is in the middle of a farmer's field out in Concession 5. And going by fields that were just
Freshly manured. You could not.
I couldn't smell
No.
them.
Wow.
With this increase in smell, the guy was walking in front of us one day, and I said, "That guy's smoking a cigarette," and I could smell it. And this is normal, not good. I could not smell anything like that.
Yeah, that really surprised me when he could smell that.
Wow, and that's really neat. And one of the things that, if I remember correctly, you had trouble falling as well. Is that something to that effect?
You're not. No, you don't. You're okay with a couple falls, but not so much.
Okay, all right. I might be blending this with somebody else I know that had real difficulty with falling, but that's one of the things that can also happen.
Yes, it is. I think Peter had some trouble, and I know it helped him. But Terry has been, I think, with going to he does a lot of exercise for Parkinson's, and I think that's really helped him.
So tell me a little bit about the exercise routines. How did you find that's I know the exercise is one very key thing to do for Parkinson's, but what in the case of Terry, how did this help Terry, do you think, with exercises?
Well, we go to a Parkinson's physiotherapist who has a gym there, and it's wonderful, Gateway. And she does exercises and movements specifically for Parkinson's. Mm-hmm. And she was the one that helped it. She's very open to trying new things. And she was the one that mentioned about the light therapy. So okay. I think we found our best hope for keeping the Parkinson's at bay as long as we can through exercise and through the red light therapy. It's a great combination.
Okay. And now exercise went better because of the light, or just?
Actually, yes, I remember one day Terry was doing in for a session of exercise, and Orla had mentioned that he seemed to be taking command. So that was the positive.
So, Terry would be able to respond better. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, yes. That's basically it. Yes.
Okay. And you've noticed a little difference too in expressions. You mentioned something the other day.
Yes, that was, oh, I think that was after the second session, that now he has a spontaneous smile, which he hasn't had in years. His face was always the Parkinson's mask, and now he has much more expression. And my family have noticed a huge difference in him with the expression and with engaging in conversation.
Right.
Because he was getting to the point where he would be sitting when we had company and very quiet and sometimes falling asleep and disengaged. And he would tell me that it would be hard to jump into a conversation when people are talking. But now he is doing that. We had about 30 people over Christmas Eve, and all relatives, and he was talking all night, and it was just great.
Okay, so we've been able to help with strokes, concussions. We do have the large canopy as well for treating larger areas of the body. This is an example of open heart surgery. You can see the cut line here. And well, just over a month later, you can see how beautiful the healing took place. It's almost invisible. It's so beautiful how you avoid scar tissue building. Here's the same fellow, but his his forearm was laid beside his leg, and you can see his forearm is nice and even, and along the leg it doesn't look as good. Well, he treated his arm every day, and his leg he only treated once a week. So you can see how the leg should have been treated every day as well, and it wouldn't look like that. But the healing was much slower because it didn't have the light therapy. So I have a lot of dentists using this device as well for treatment of the masseter muscle or the temporis muscle. Okay, here's just a little example of laser LED versus laser with tissue penetration. So this, when people say, "Hey, they go and buy a $20 or $30 light meter to measure something, and they talk about it on the web," they have no idea what they're doing with the light measurement equipment. There's so many variables, and a person really has to know what they have, and they have to spend enough money to buy the right equipment. This ball here is like $10,000 to buy it new. I didn't have that kind of money. I was able to find a used one out there. But there's an opening. This aluminum ball only lets light coming in from the top. And so what we were able to do, and then you have the light measurement devices, the measurement sensors inside the ball. And what this ball does for us is that it doesn't matter if it's a laser beam or a light that's scattered in all directions, it'll bounce around and end up with a very accurate measurement of the optical power. So with this device, we are able to measure the difference between LEDs and lasers with different tissue. So on the very top of the picture on the left, you see like the palm light, and the picture in the middle, towards the middle, is showing a laser light on it. So we did this at the University of Buffalo with connection with Dr. Praveen Irani. He's extremely knowledgeable about photobiomodulation. He's also had a study showing how fast you could speed up healing with light. Question here came up is, do your devices need calibration and maintenance? Really, there's no maintenance on our device, and there's no additional calibration. Once it's leaves here, we measure the light levels and everything, make sure that it's within our specifications, and that won't change on it for the life of the device. As I said, they expect 50,000 hours. Well, I don't think any of us are going to be around for 50,000 hours to find out if the light measurement has changed, but they're saying only 10% drop. So in this example, what I'm showing you here is that this is on top of the ball where we put our device, and then we use chicken or pork or steak to see how the light would penetrate through. So the two different devices, laser devices, are the middle and the right, with my light LED device on the left. And what we're doing is looking at how much light was going through all that tissue. What we found, this is with chicken, using an LED device, our device of 1050 nanometer, and a 1064 nanometer laser. And there is an anomaly. We figured it out later on, but the very start of the curve is not correct. The two should have been matching at that point, but we know what had happened. But as you can see, we went through 3/4 of an inch of chicken, and pretty much the same light levels coming through. When we went to 1.5 inch thick chicken, it was still pretty much the same. And it was only until we got to 2.25 inches that there was a little less light with our LED device. Now there is a big difference though in cost. Our device for the laser device that I was comparing it to was around $30,000, and our device is less than 2,000. But we're still getting the same type of energy going deep. And even if you were to, you could easily make up for it by treating it a little longer and getting the same as the laser. So we did the same thing with pork and tried the different wavelengths. And as it works out, there's various graphs here showing that obviously as the tissue gets thicker, there's going to be more loss through the tissue, but you're still getting energy through. And with the blue being the laser and the red being the LEDs, you're seeing that pretty much they're almost the same in energy. Okay. This is steak, gives you a similar idea of what's going on with steak. Next slide, please. And because of the time, I'll just mention now. So we have the different light devices. We have the professional, the ultimate, and the super palm. Really, the difference between the professional and the ultimate is we have about 25% more optical power at the two wavelengths. And then when it comes to the super palm, we're very similar in power, but we have the 10, instead of the 810 nanometer, we have 1050. So really the super palm is what we are recommending for using anywhere on the body. And if funds are really tight, you still can get really, really good results with the professional or the ultimate. So I do want to say that if you choose to go on the website tonight and make a purchase, we'll give you a 10% discount with webinar 10. That's webinar 10 for tonight. For those that would like to get one of these palms, I've been thinking about it for a while. And well, a palm or a helmet or a mini canopy, please go to our website. Pretty easy to fill out, and we'll get you one on its way. And you can help yourself and other people that's around you. We have an oral device too, which just is a little pop-in device that allows you to shine the light on inside the mouth to help a little faster treatment deeper into the mouth area. This is our mini canopy. That's the foot squared. I'll show you this. This is our mini canopy right here. And we have the two wavelengths, the red And the near infrared wavelength, the nice thing about it, it's got 15 times the area of one of these palm units with about 12 times the power. So it's a very, very powerful unit that has over the area. You'd have to take one of those panels that you can buy off Amazon and squeeze it right down to this smaller area. And now you're going to get much higher power density to go into, let's say, a shoulder. Or you can use this instead of the helmet. You can use it for the brain as well, and other parts of the body, obviously. Okay, that's our mini canopy, and everything, the mini canopy and the helmet all come with the stand for use. Very easy over the bed or anywhere. So, I'll just mention about methylene blue. There's some cool information on this website called methyleneblue.red. It works as a matter of fact, if you look at that graph right at 660 nanometer is the highest reaction of methylene blue. So if you use light with the specifically the 660 nanometer light, you will have a reaction going on with the methylene blue that's very, very positive. So just wanted to mention that. Okay, so just a little summary. All our what we have with our devices is we have FDA registration. We have powerful light for deep penetration. We have a switchable dual light frequency. So we don't mix the wavelengths together. We have either 100% of one wavelength or 100% of the other, because we want as much power at the wavelength that you're going to use as possible. It's a diffused wide area illumination, which means that we have very, very even light energy over the whole surface, and that's what helps us get as well much deeper. We have a comprehensive family of LED-based medical devices, and they can be used at home as well. When it comes to the helmet, we have 80 LEDs at the 660 nanometer and 100 LEDs with the 10, just to give you an idea. That's a lot of high power LEDs, and that's why we can get that 25 joules every second. I said patent pending, but I have to change the slide now. I have a patent on the way we cool our devices, so that's pretty neat. So the U.S. Patent Office found that my technology was something that's extremely unique as to the way I cool things, and that's why I can get as much power as I can out of the handheld or the other devices that I have. The other thing is, if normal cooling mechanisms would make all of these devices much, much heavier. We have a plug-in low voltage supply, so it's a very safe wall adapter that provides the power, and there's no batteries to replace. So the nice thing is, if you wanted to, you can run this almost 24/7. Yeah, so very safe and effective. And as with PBM, there's no adverse side effects. That's what they're if you go to pbmfoundation.org, you can learn about that. They figure there's over 100 million PBM treatments that have gone across the US with no documented side effects. We have a very durable design that we have, and we have the 2-year warranty on the Super Palm, and the helmet and the mini canopy. And there's a lot of built-in safety features on these things, so that if there's any reason for something to overheat, it won't happen in our device, because we have that thing to shut it off. So for a comment came in about for the use of on the ear, it would be 1 minute of the red and 3 minutes of the near infrared is what we're suggesting. And there's no reasons why you can't do it much much longer than that. But that's a great starting place, is the 1 minute and 3 minutes. Also, our devices are all manufactured in North America. We do not have this manufactured in China. It'd be, I could make a lot more money, but then people don't get the quality that I want to see in these devices. And not only quality, I can continue to keep improving as we move along. So we've done that. Yeah, as far as question of the LEDs themselves, we buy some high quality LEDs from China, and unfortunately, there isn't. China's pretty much the only one that manufactures LEDs, but we make sure that the LED itself is very high quality and that it stands up well. Donna's asking, with the extra timer that you can order with the helmet, does it automatically switch between red and light and near infrared? Yes. So Donna, what we've set up in the helmet timer is that it's normally set internally. A person can change it, but it'd be 1 minute red and 3 minutes near infrared. So you just push the button and it does 1 minute of the red, and then at the end of the 1 minute of red, it switches over to near infrared. Yeah, very good question here, Ray. Please help us be able to understand the flexible spending. Okay, what we do have a firm now on our account. So anybody wanting to get one of these devices, let's say they want to get the Super Palm, it's possible to buy the Super Palm over 12 months. So if I just put in, let's say you might have tax in your area. So let's say, just say $2,000 and you divide by 12, it's $166. It'll be a little bit different than that, but pretty close, because there's no interest charges that you pay if you divide it over 1 year. If you divide it over 2 years, there will be an interest charge, and you'll see what that might be. So you've got the chance of building short or longer, and that is through a firm. There's also PayPal, which has pay later. That's another type of way to pay. So you can get, yeah. So that extra timer, it's just put in the request that you get the timer for the helmet, and it's an additional $200 for that part, the timer. Are the setting adjustable on the most powerful? Yeah, you can set it to the 660 or the 1050 wavelength by switching it to either way. So Chuck is asking, what would you do with cataracts? We have a standard protocol that we've been using just for general eye health, which is 1 minute of the red and 1 minute of the near infrared. And we do have the oldest oldest woman to use it. She's 101 years old, and she ended up improving her vision and her hearing using her light. So that's pretty neat. She had a dry macular degeneration where things were wavy in her wavy over the area, and when she started using the light, she says everything was nice and straight. So we have that video. Yeah, the treatment time, what would the treatment time for using the helmet on the face or sinuses? I would probably start at 1 minute, 3 minutes, 1 minute red, 3 minutes in near infrared. So a person can use our helmet. I'll just show some folks this. So a person can turn this at 90 degrees like this, and now do a facial with this device as well. So to treat sinuses, to treat yes, you can help with collagen, and so it helps with skincare issues. And yes, you can divide the helmet over the course of the year. And as I said, if you want to get one of the lights, you can use helmet or mini canopy or whatever. You can save 10% tonight if you use webinar 10 and in the code. Okay, well, there's our contact information. If you need to call us between 9 and 5 Eastern Standard Time, there's the number. You can go to our website. You can email us at info@SunPowerLED. I want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. And I really hope that this tonight will be helpful. Janice, I just saw another question pop up here. That the dental probe is an add-on to any one of the three handhelds, and I think it's around $100 for I can't remember exact cost on the dental probe. So yeah, all right. My correction, it's $80 for the dental probe with a little plate that just snaps into the front of the unit, and you're able then to put the light inside the mouth. Well, thank you everybody. Please remember you can join us next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I hope this webinar tonight was helpful in understanding a bit more about what the different PBM applications can do. So I will I wish you all of God's richest blessings for this coming week, and bye for now.
15 years back, I realized that light could make a huge difference on the body. I ended up designing this very powerful light using LED technology. With this amount of very high power density, it can reach through the tissues and travel right to the joints. But the key is that the power density and the area is extremely important to deliver that light into that. The mitochondria receives that light and converts that energy into the cell. So it's like giving the cell super high octane fuel, and they run like a jet, and they're able to do all the things for repair in that. What are the products we have? Well, we have a small device, which is actually large when it comes to light therapy. You have a fairly large area of light and a high power density that can be used for different parts of the body, like your fingers, shoulder, back, neck, knees, ankle, anywhere on the body. And then we have what's called the mini canopy, which is about a foot square in size. And then we have our full-size canopy, which is basically 6 of the mini canopies. And then we have another device, which is the helmet, and that device can help for mental issues, for brain injuries, for concussions, for PTSD, TBI, all of those kinds of things. And there's new research out there that shows it could be helpful for not only strokes, but dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's, and just different brain issues. Our plans are to move this technology into every area of the world where there's pain and inflammation, which is basically everywhere, and to expand that so people understand all the applications where this technology can be used to help them in their health in the body as a wellness device. People are looking for how they can treat themselves without drugs.